I start my show today a little differently, with a speech. Oh my, what a speech. I hardly remember another speech so powerful, so memorable in the country called Kenya. In fact, I can't really remember. Yeah, and I'm not exaggerating. Just listen in for yourself, because this is very relevant to the very explosive topic we're going to cover today on my show. Yeah, I'll be back shortly.
ODM si chama kilichojazaliwa kama siri. Nasikia kuna wengine ambao wanatembea nasi mchana lakini usiku wanajaribu kuuza hii chama. Haiwezekani. ODM was not born in a bedroom. It was not made in a bedroom. So its future will not be discussed as pillow talk. It has been the heartbeat of the Kenyan people for 20 years. ODM was born from protest. It was raised in resistance. And the people of ODM have time and time again bled, sweat, and shed tears for this country called Kenya. We are sorry that we don't always get it right. Poleni. But we will never be sorry for being inconvenient. They like to call us a party of goons. What we're doing is nation building. Nation building is untidy. Nation building is inconvenient. Nation building is uncomfortable. Nation building has left us in tears as ODM, the People's Party, time and time again. But we, ODM, belong to the people. And we will continue growing because the young people of ODM have conviction.
Twende kazi. I'm telling you the drama that is going down in Kenyan politics right now, especially centered around the family of the late Raila Odinga. Now this morning, one of Kenya's leading daily newspapers, the Daily Nation, carried a very interesting article. In this particular article, it appeared that elder brother to Raila Odinga, Oburu Odinga, had come out and revealed to the public inner family secrets and squabbles. Okay? What did Oburu say? In the article, he told us that actually he had called Raila Odinga shortly before his younger brother passed on, and told him that it was very important, because humans don't live forever, that it was very important that they meet and resolve family issues, especially over the estate of the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, because anything could happen to any of them, and the generations below them, according to Oburu, may not have such a close, cordial relationship like the one he had with Raila. That's the long and short of his revelations. Now I want you to notice a few things. Okay? This is inner workings of the media. Okay? That article came in late. Actually, it should have been the headline. But then clearly, it was included last minute on the front page. They had to squeeze it in somewhere prominent on the front page of the Nation. Clearly, it came in a little late in the day, because it is very obvious this should have been the main headline and not the current headline about Ruto promises versus actually what he has fulfilled. Okay, I think we agree on that. That is very important to note. I'll come back to that shortly. Secondly, this appears to have been an exclusive Daily Nation interview. Okay? In other words, the information was given to them exclusively. Yeah, and usually in these circumstances, the person with the story is the one who approached the newspaper. Not always, but in most instances, it is the person with the story who approached the newspaper. I hope you get me and will not misquote me. Okay? Number 3, the truth is there are no issues with the state of the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, father to both Oburu Odinga and the late Raila Odinga. There is absolutely no issue, especially because traditions are clear amongst the Luo community, and most likely traditions were followed in dividing the estate of the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Indeed, in the traditions of any community, there is no way the second-born son can come and start dictating to the first-born son what should happen and what should not happen. Yeah, let's be very clear on that. There is another point, very important, in order for us to avoid any confusion. There has been a case in the Kenyan courts linked to the family of Raila Odinga, not to the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga family. Please note that very carefully. There has been a case filed by the widow of Raila's firstborn son, the late Fidel Odinga. And it is very interesting that this case has re-emerged. It has been filed again after Raila passed on. But of course this has nothing at all to do with the state of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, yeah, which is the only way it would rope in Oburu and the larger Odinga family. Let's get that very clearly so that we don't get confused. And so, armed with all that information, with those solid facts, we must ask ourselves the question, what is this article really all about? Second very important question, is it possible that this is a planted article which is aimed at creating a certain narrative to divert attention from the real issue, the real political issue, so that people focus on something else? Yeah, they forget the politics and everybody says, ni watu wanapigania mali. This is about the state. It is nothing to do with politics. And of course, this will greatly benefit some people. In case it is true, I'm not saying it is true. Okay, I'm just asking a question. Of course, this would greatly benefit some people who have some very important and pressing political objectives to fulfill ASAP, as soon as possible. Their political survival and future, according to them, depends on these carefully well-laid plans. Okay? Don't worry if I've lost you. It will be very clear very soon. Is it possible, this is another question, is it possible that this article on the front page of the Nation today, yeah, is linked to the drama that unfolded in Mombasa at the ODM 20th anniversary celebrations? Could it be that those two are linked? Because in Mombasa, Winnie Odinga, the last born of the late Raila Odinga, yeah, and the child who was closest to the political legend, made a speech and a half. Yeah, I started my show today with that particular speech. And in that speech, it was very clear. It was all political. And something else is very clear. You cannot convince me that that speech would have any impact whatsoever in an ongoing squabble over the state of Raila Amolo Odinga. Okay? let us clear something else off the table. The main asset of the late Raila Odinga, which could possibly cause squabbles, is a company called the East African Spectre. Yeah, it deals with gas cylinders. To oversimplify what this very technical engineering company does, okay? The truth is, it is a multi-billion, not million, it is a multi-billion Kenya shilling enterprise. Yeah, so there's real value there. And there is a real reason for somebody to squabble or challenge things there. Okay? But very important to note, East African Spectre has nothing to do with the larger Jaramogi family. It is Raila Odinga himself who founded this company. When he was a lecturer at the Nairobi University, he actually sold his car to buy some old equipment from an Asian who was fleeing neighboring Uganda when Idi Amin Dada came to power and forced Asians, Ugandan Asians, out of Uganda. Yeah, so Raila bought this equipment from an Asian, yeah, who was fleeing to Canada, and that is how his company started. And from a very humble beginning, has become a very large, profitable enterprise. Please don't get confused by the fact that the non-executive chairman of that company currently is Oburu Odinga. Okay, but managing director is Ida Odinga. Raila Jr. is a director. Yeah, so don't get mixed up. That company belongs to the family of Raila Amolo Odinga. All indications are that this article was all about, yeah, creating a narrative to deal with a rising political force in Kenya today, which is Winnie Odinga. It is very clear that she has become an obstacle, a political obstacle, to the well-laid plans of some people over the future of the ODM party. And therefore what we can expect going forward is nothing less, nothing short of high wire drama, because these people are very powerful, very, very powerful. It is super fascinating and, in my opinion, very instructive that when Wajakoya, the weed professor, a presidential candidate, when Professor Wajakoya visited the gravesite of the late Raila Amolo Odinga, one of the things he was uttering and muttering over and over again was that those who were against Winnie Odinga, those who are fighting Winnie Odinga, will not succeed. Strange. Don't you agree? So, in my opinion, that is a clear confirmation that there's something going on. And this thing that is going on is a very serious fight against Winnie Odinga, yeah, which has come to that place where spin doctors and narrative propaganda peddlers have been roped in to create a narrative to confuse Kenyans, to divert Kenyans away from the real politic going down. Now, in my next video, I will fully discuss that politics, okay, because now we've gotten out of the way, yeah, this massive fraud that is being peddled in the hope that Kenyans will swallow it, hook, line, and sinker. But I think these people are mistaken. That will not happen. Okay? Now, many people believe Raila Odinga was old. Raila Odinga had so many medical conditions that what happened, as unfortunate as it was bound to happen. Yeah, and that is okay, and it makes sense. However, the truth is, the information in my latest highly sensitive special report gives out some facts and figures and revelations that prove otherwise. Okay? And you still have an opportunity. In fact, today, as we wind up this offer, I am offering this highly sensitive, very valuable special report for only Kenya shillings 1,999. We normally do this just before we end an offer, okay? So please rush. If you still don't have it, use the details on your screens right now and go for it. My very firm promise, and I'm putting my reputation on the line, is you will not be disappointed, okay? Now, of course, we also have an annual golden key which will allow you to gain access to this particular special report and all past reports and future reports for an entire year, including WABs, everything kumekucha that others may need to pay, you will get for free. Okay, you can see details on the screens right now. For only Kenya shillings 5,999, you will have this annual golden key. And then there is the last option, which is the best, a permanent golden key. Now, if you're a regular kumekuchan, you can get this permanent golden key for only Kenya shillings 6,555. You can see details on your screens right now. Please rush, please hurry for any of these offers that you've chosen, because we are truly in the kipindi cha lala salama, the final moments of these amazing offers. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.